here. He goes to rejoin the circuit and then avoids that bit of mud, which I think is what Charlie was looking at
who's this before. Off the track? Roberts, sorry, Danny Kvyat.
Yeah. Turn 1.
We'll talk about Danny Kvyat in a moment as well, because we've not really mentioned him much, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the young Russian. But we need to go to turn 13. So I think that's where Paul di Resta has made his way to, in the sunshine this afternoon. Paul, what a day to be stood trackside.
It is Crofty, and I've been standing here having a delicious sandwich that had your name written all over it. Just as I say that, actually, something spun at last corner.
Oh, that's not a spin, Paul. I'll come back to you. That's Jolyon Palmer. So after his travails in FP1, at the final turn, he has gone off into the barriers, and it looks like another side impact here, Ant.
Yeah, it's gone in the right-hand side of the car.
The car okay, Joe? No.
We'll talk about Danny Kvyat.
Oh dear.
That's all we're going to get there as well.
Do you think the car... Well, I don't know. Paul is down there at turn 13. I'm wondering if the car lost traction on the exit.
Paul, did you actually see what happened?
I didn't see. I just saw the end of it. I was too busy talking about this sandwich that had your name all over it, Crofty.
Yeah, well, Paul, if you didn't, just sit tight. We'll come back to you in a moment. We've got another red flag. And that's the third red flag of the day. And for the second time, it's Jolyon Palmer clambering out of his car.
Has the car spun as he's turned in and committed to turn 14? And it's done a complete kind of 360 and ended up...
Oh, look at the back end there.
Yeah, that's what makes you think it's gone mainly in rearwards, isn't it? To the right way. So he could have lost the car on the way into 14, the left stepping out, spinning all the way around, and then but I'm sure we'll see a replay at some point. Lost traction on the exit.
Paul, did you actually see what happened?
I didn't see. I just saw the end of it. I was too busy talking about this sandwich that had your name all over it, Crofty.
Yeah, well, Paul, if you didn't, just sit tight. We'll come back to you in a moment. We've got another red flag.
Oh, it's exactly the same as Wehrlein, isn't it? Caught the initial snap,
yeah,
goes straight for a while, and then the car rotates the other way. Oh, what are you to do?
Well, what can you do?
It's a frustrating one. It's such a frustrating one because you catch the initial snap. It's like a high side on the motorbike, isn't it? Just you got it and then flicks you the other way. It's like the tyre loads up. It's like a big spring. You know, you catch it one way, the big spring, all that energy then comes back at you, and you can't stop it from snapping in the opposite direction. There's only 16 minutes to go.
Well, what this has done is it's absolutely wrecking people's strategy and race runs and simulations for Sunday's race.
Right.
Great, brilliant.
It's all about qualifying
Brilliant.
this track, isn't it, Chris? So, right, let's stick the tyres on, new boots, low fuel, let's go for it.
Ricardo's done 3 laps.
Of a session.
Bottas has done 3 laps. Hamilton's done 3 laps. It's
can't really call that a long run, can you?
Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall. A lot of red flags in this session, Christian. I'm just making the point, it's ruining your preparations for the race and every other team as well, this.
Yeah, it's obviously pretty tricky out there. There's quite a lot of cars making mistakes and going off, so obviously conditions and grip levels are pretty tricky.
Is it the wind that's half the problem? Because, you know, it's gusting across the track in the final corner and up at turn 5 where we've seen incidents as well?
It could well be. Also, the circuit's pretty green. Tyres are pretty hard. So, yeah, you see these cars having these snaps and they just get away from them.
So how much, in terms of percentages, useful data, do you guys think that you're going to be able to get from your race runs in this session?
Well, we got 2 very good laps with Daniel that he's gone pretty, you know, had a pretty decent pace with. So, so we've always got a couple of laps. Obviously, you always want more.
You're going to be able to get from your race runs in this session?
Well, we got 2 very good laps with Daniel. You know, hopefully if we can qualify, you know, within the first couple of rows, then anything can happen down at turn 1.
Just finally, Christian, Robert Kubica, we were talking about his test coming up next week. How much, as a fan of motorsport, motor racing, Formula 1 in general, How much are you looking forward to actually seeing Robert Kubica back in an F1 car at a racetrack in a proper test?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He's done a bit of running on our simulator recently, and certainly impressed with what he did there. And yeah, I mean, this is the hardest test other than Singapore that you're going to get. So if he can drive here, he can drive anywhere, and he certainly seems to be pretty motivated for it.
When you say you're impressed, can you let us into how good or bad he actually was?
No, you'll have to ask Renault, because it was their day. But you know, he's got an absolute determination about him, and I think he's got a real belief he can do it. So, and as I say, if he can do it here, then why not?
Do you see, knowing what you know, do you see there being a barrier to his potential return as a racing driver?
Look, if he can drive the car okay here, I can't see any reason, you know, why not. You know, he seems to be, you know, his recovery seems to have been quite impressive, and he certainly seems confident.
Brilliant. Thank you, Christian. Really, really good to talk to you there. Christian Horner, live from the Red Bull pit wall as we see another couple of replays of Jolyon Palmer going off the track. Sometimes you know when it's not your day. By this stage of the season, he probably knows it's not his season either, because things just seem to happen to Jolyon time and time again. When
your head goes down as a driver, it's terrible. You know, it's a hard place to bring yourself back from, and you lose that confidence. And when you lose the confidence, you can't drive how you want to. Things don't flow anymore, and I think he's stuck in that rut. And yes, it's a shame to see it. It looked just a little bit clumsy, I'd say, into that final corner.
You can see there he has absolutely no wish to talk to the TV reporters down there at all.
When you feel like that, you don't at all.
So Ted, I would imagine you're staying clear.
No, I asked him if I could have a word. Okay. I've been loitering at Mercedes. I don't want to be, you know, sort of trying to pick these guys off. I was waiting for Verline, see if Verline's going to come back. So just check if he's okay. And I just asked him, I said, can I have a word? He said no. So I did ask, because that's my job. But he was looking at the big screen as it was replaying it with a kind of quizzical look on his face. I mean, obviously, he knows what happened because, you know, he was driving. But I just wonder, I mean, Anthony, in the post, should we try and see if we can grab some engineers and see if there's any particular reason, just